I call out a walk. I pray this devil die and get every evil thing the Lord got to give. And listen, I know you look at us in the state we in right now. Come here, SHALAM. Come here, SHALAM. I know you look at us in the state we in right now. Black people on drugs, and we suffering and dying. And I know it seems like you can do whatever you want to this people. I know it seems like this, but the time for glorifying yourself is soon at an end.
Shalom, Israel. This is Officer Priest I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And today's topic we're going to talk about the color of the Most High in Christ. But before we get into this, I want to let you guys know you can check out our online classes every Tuesday through Friday at 7 p.m. And every Monday you can check out Commander GEN.YAHANNA on the most controversial radio show ever. That's Commander GEN.YAHANNA on the Grill. Every Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the free online classes, that's right, free online classes every Tuesday to Friday, 7 p.m. Check that out. Okay, today's topic we're going to talk about the color of the Most High in Christ. Okay, so from here, I want you to grab your King James Version Bible and follow me to Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. That's Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire. Okay, right here, you know it's talking about the Most High power, because he's called the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days, meaning no beginning of days and no ending of days. The Ancient, that's the Most High, Yahweh in the Hebrew. Okay, and it said he had a white garment. You know he had a body. He had a body with a white garment on. And his hair of his head was white like the pure wool. So, Negroes, don't be ashamed of your hair. You got that wool because the Most High got that woolly hair. You got that? Okay, so from here we're going to go to check out the color of Christ. We're going to go to Daniel chapter 10. And we're going to start at verse 5. Daniel chapter 10 verse 5 says, Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. Verse 6, His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as a lamp of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. Okay, so from here the description it says, and his arms and his feet like into color. You know, they called us, black people called us Judites colored back in the day. You know, you colored folks. Okay, so in here it said Christ was of color. Okay, with a deep voice like a multitude. Christ had a deep voice. He was a dark brother with a deep voice. Okay, so from here we're going to go to Revelations chapter 1. And we're going to start at verse 13. That's Revelations chapter 1, verse 13 says, And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot, and a girdle above the paps with the golden girdle. And his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So once again, it's letting you know the color. It says, and his feet like unto fine brass, and here's the kicker, as if they burned in a furnace. Okay, so you burn some brass, you're going to come out with a real dark color. So Christ was a real dark man, a dark brother. Okay, and once again, he had that deep voice. His voice has the sound of many waters, very deep. So Christ was a dark-skinned brother with a deep voice. Okay, so we're going to get some more. Okay, we're going to go to Ezekiel. We're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 5. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 5. Also out the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, the likeness of a man. Verse 6, and every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. Okay, we're going to drop down to verse 7. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's hoof, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. Okay, this is talking about the angels, letting you know what color they are. And it said, the color of burnished brass. So that's black also. Can't get around none of these scriptures. So what's the deal with them little Edomite babies with wings on, naked Edomite babies with wings on? That's some pedophile stuff. The Most High just gave you the description of the angels right here. Okay? So we're going to go to, from here, we're going to go to Job chapter 30. And we're going to see what's going on with this. Job chapter 30, verse 30 says, my skin is black upon me, and my bones burned with heat. Okay? So right here, letting you know my skin is black upon me. What more could you ask for? So where do you get the so-called red skin that the white man have? The so-called white man got red skin. God called it red. Okay? Once again, my skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. My skin is black upon me. Ain't no other way around this, man. It's madness to think that they're any other color, you know? Okay, so from here, we're going to go to Acts chapter 13. That's Acts chapter 13. And we're going to start at verse 1. Acts chapter 13, verse 1 says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon that was called Niger, and Lucerius and Cyrene and Manin, which had been brought with Herod, the tetrarch, and Saul. Okay, so it let you know there were certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon that was called Niger. Okay, we all know that Niger is the Latin word for black. So where do you get so-called white from? I mean, you got to study to show yourself approved, people. Don't just take their answers for anything. You know, they've been having a white picture of so-called Christ up in the churches for years, and the black church praising the white guy. Come on, man, that's white supremacy. When the Bible teaches you that everybody in the Bible had color. Even Esau got a color. It's red. Okay? So from here, we're going to go to Song of Solomon. The Song of Solomon. We're going to go to Song of Solomon chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 5. We're going to read verse 5. The Song of Solomon chapter 1, verse 5 says, I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. I am black. In other words, he's saying, I am black but beautiful, ye daughters of Jerusalem. I'm black but I'm beautiful, just like you, Judah, so-called Negro. Okay, so from here we're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 14. We're going to get some more, see what color the Jews are. The real Jews. That's Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2 says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof are languished. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. Okay, so once again, it's letting you know that Judah mourneth. We're in a position of mourning. We don't have anything to show, okay? And the gates thereof languished. We don't have no leaders to protect us, no gates to protect us from the outsiders coming in to do harm to us, okay? And it said they are black unto the ground. What color am I? I'm black unto the ground because we was made from the dust of the ground. And the cry of Jerusalem going up. So once again, The Jews are black, so-called Jews are black. The tribe of Judah, Yahweh in the Hebrew, okay, was black. Just like it says in Jeremiah chapter 14 and 2. The Jews are black, Christ is a black man, and the Most High is a black man with woolly hair. Can't get around that. So burn them pictures of Caesar Borgia, get them out your house, get them out your sanctuary or whatever you dwell. Because it's a curse unto you. It's white supremacy. Okay, with that, I want to say shalom, Israel.
When nowadays I work hard on the job, till I come cross y'all, still like I'm a criminal. Crime and get caught, it could be your first charge. Like, man, you ain't getting the minimum. It go dip, squat, 5 mile run, push, pull, sit on, goddamn, get strong. Looking at my baby, trying to keep them doing wrong. It's too long for they grow, I can't leave them on their own. They killed Daddy like he had a 30-day cake. The news covering up the story, but they say it took me back to the time we lost Otis. Pretending these crackers, they gon' tell you something bogus. And I'm thinking like, damn, what you telling kids? We tried to put up a fight, but did we fail the kids? Cause they really got us looking like no damn good. And why success got to cost my manhood? Hey, black women,